and Gio.
BT and Sal.
Kevin and Tiki.
Keith McPherson, your nighttime host on The Fan.
On The Fan.
On the Fan. On the Fan.
It's WFAN Daily, hosted by Pete Hoffman.
Welcome to another episode of WFAN Daily. Let's just get right to it. David Peterson needs to be piggybacked with somebody, with something. And it can't be a combination of four relief pitchers. One we don't know, as in with Dom Hamill. Gregory Soto, he's been iffy at best lately. We have Ryan Stanek, who gives up another home run in the ninth inning, which is an insurance run for the Padres. The best pitcher of the night was Ryan Helsley. Didn't give up a hit, gave up a walk, but that was it. That's unacceptable at this stage in the game with every game counting so much going into the last 10 games of the season. You cannot have a game where it's David Peterson and the bullpen. It's unacceptable because the bullpen is not the bullpen that we thought it was supposed to be, which is why you can't go to it in a close game. When it's 6-4 going into the ninth inning, it's not Ryan Stanek time. It's not. I'd put it Edwin Diaz. That's it. That's the guy. I know it's like, oh, well, why are we going to waste him here? There's this, we might need him tomorrow. But I'll tell you right now, if you want any ounce of a fight from your offense, you can't have Ryan Stanek come in the ninth inning and then give up a home run. It just can't happen. I'm sorry. But it's before that. It's David Peterson's ineffectiveness again. 5 innings. That's what you get out of David Peterson. 5 innings. But really, it was 4. 4 decent innings. He still gave up 2 runs. He still gave up a ton of hits. But then the 5th inning comes around, and he just completely shits the bed. To basically, that's what it is. He shits the bed. Jay Cronenworth, hit by pitch. Diaz sacrifice, and then Cronenworth moves over to second base. Then Fernando Tatis Jr. walks. Then Luis Ariz with a little bunt down the line. Everyone's safe. So hit by pitch, a walk, and then a little bunt. A lot going on there. I know it sounds like, oh my goodness, we're nitpicking here because it really wasn't all on David Peterson. It wasn't like he was getting hit left and right, but it's the fact that you hit a batter and then you walk a batter and then you allow a little shitty bunt to take place. That's what it was. And then next you know, Manny Machado's hitting a grand slam and making this game from 2-2 to 6-2. And here's the other thing too is, it's one thing for that crappy inning to take place. He was not effective the entire game. Go through the first inning. Tatis leadoff single. Luis Ariz walks. You're lucky that Manny Machado grounds out, and then just Gavin Sheets hits a sac fly to score a run, and that's it. And then Laureano grounds out to minimize the damage. But you're talking about the first 2 guys get on base. That's not acceptable. The next inning, after Pete Alonso homers to tie the game at 1. Jackson Merrill, leadoff single. I mean, come on. Iglesias ground out. Okay, fine. Merrill to second base. Jake Cronenworth. Single to the up the middle, and the Padres take the lead again, 2-1. You're talking about the Mets have no chance of winning this game because Peterson is going to give up a run almost every inning, it feels like. It just, anytime that you seem like the Mets are going to fight back today, it's not going to happen because Peterson wants to give it right back. And that's just not, it's not how you're going to win games. Not with 10 games to go. You're not going to win games like that. You're lucky that the 3rd inning wasn't bad, but he did give a hit to Machado. So far, every inning there's base runners. 4th inning, first 1-2-3 inning. Laureano lines out, Merrill flies out, and then Iglesias strikes out. Boom. That should be it right there. The same way that you pulled Clay Holmes at 50-something pitches, you should have pulled David Peterson. But the problem is There's no backup plan for this. This is, you think David Peterson had a great run last year and was a star pitcher for you, so this year is going to be the same. But it hasn't been. That's the thing. Like, we're just being idiots now that we're just looking at David Peterson pitch and going, yeah, everything's fine. We'll just run him back out there again. He'll get through this. This is just a blip in the radar. There's a bump in the road. It's not a bump in the road anymore. It is. He's crappy. He's a crappy pitcher. He has been complete shit since, let's see, his ERA was at the lowest June 17th, which, okay, that's a little too far back. 2.83 back in August. August 1st was a 2.83. He, at that point in time, for you to, basically add on a run worth an ERA, you really got to take some damage, because at that point in time, a 2.83, he's pitched, I don't know, 140 innings or something like that. He's put in a lot of work. He has done a lot, enough that you don't have to, you're going to have to do a lot to screw up your numbers. Maybe 120 innings he had, but still, that's a lot. And after August 1st, where he went, played San Francisco, gave up 2 earned runs in 6 innings. Then it was Cleveland, 4 earned runs in 6 innings. Then Atlanta, 6 earned runs in 3 1/3. Then Washington, he pitches an 8-inning gem, which he should. I mean, everybody should. 1 inning, 1 earned run in 8 innings. Okay, good. 10 strikeouts. Great. Atlanta, kind of a rebound as well. 5 2/3. 2 earned runs. Okay, good. Back-to-back games. Okay, fine. But then we go to Miami. August 30th versus Miami, 8 runs in 2 innings. September 5th versus Cincinnati, 4 runs in 5 1/3. September 11th versus Philly, 3 runs in 5 innings. And then today, 6 runs in 5 innings. He is not effective. He is a 5-inning pitcher at max these days, but it's really 4 innings. That's where he's effective. This is what I've been saying since the beginning of the season about the New York Mets pitching staff. And people hated and told me that I was an idiot and I was sarcastic. And yes, I was sarcastic, but the New York Mets do not have a single starting pitcher on this team. They didn't have it in the beginning of the season, and now the only real starting pitchers they have are Nolan McLean and Brandon Sproat, who have made a combined 8 starts. Maybe 7, maybe I miscounted, but 7 to 8 starts between the two of them. That's it. They don't have a single other starting pitcher, a veteran starting pitcher. They have nobody. Think about how stupid that is. David Stern said, yeah, if things, were a little different and we saw this coming, we would have done things different at the trade deadline. No, you wouldn't. You want to know why? Because the writing was on the wall that the starting pitching was not good enough. They couldn't go deep into games back in April, back in May, back in June, in July, in August. This has not changed. I don't know who you're fooling. This hasn't changed. The only thing that was different was that they had better outcomes in the beginning part of the season. But since June, the outcomes have been all downhill. They've been terrible. But nothing has changed. They're not a good team. They are not effective pitchers after a certain point in time in a game. And the problem is, it's not like it's, when they get to the 6th inning, they start to fall apart. They can't really push to the 7th. No, we're talking about the 3rd time through the lineup or the 4th inning. That's what we're talking about. You can't get it's in baseball today. It feels like the 3rd time around in baseball comes up before you know it. Like before you blink, it's the 4th inning or the 5th inning, and the 3rd time around in the batting order is here. And you have to deal with that. And the pitchers can't deal with that. The New York Mets pitching staff knows how to go through a lineup twice. That's it. And that's your problem. So you know what you got to do? You have to now piggyback David Peterson. And who are you going to piggyback him with? Well, let's go for starters. Kodai Senga's in the minors. Maybe he's somebody that can give you 3 innings or 4 innings to piggyback with David Peterson. Maybe, Tyler McGill's hurt, so he's not here. Paul Blackburn's gone, so we can't bring him here. Let's see, who else do we have? We actually have nobody. There is nobody. There's absolutely no. You can start bringing up, Brandon Waddell. Maybe he can give you 3 innings. This is what we're talking about. We are talking about a pitching staff so depleted, so poorly put together. I mean, if it wasn't the fact that David Stearns, you have so much trust in, he's the president of baseball operations, this would be fireable. You would get fired after this garbage. And there's 10 games left. 10 games left. There's a game and a half lead over the Diamondbacks, who the Diamondbacks have the tiebreaker. And that is a tough pill to swallow, because the Mets are not going to go out and win the next 10 games. You know that they're going to lose half of them. You know they're going to make everybody sweat this out. And the Diamondbacks have to sweat it out too, because they have a tough schedule. But everyone's missing the point. Is the Mets suck right now. If you think that tomorrow, if you think that Thursday, we're going to sit down and put our feet up and watch a Thursday game of the Padres and the Mets, and we're going to watch the Mets win, you're wrong. Padres are going to beat the heck out of the Mets. However they do it, they're going to win. And the Mets are going to lose another series. And then the Nationals are going to come to town. And the Nationals are probably going to beat them 2 out of 3. And then we're going to sit there scratching our head and be like, what? Huh? What's going on here? Then Chicago, who they've clinched already. They don't have to win anything. But they're going to find a way to win 2 out of 3. Why? Because why not? Why not beat up on the Mets? Why not try to experiment with somebody and have some fun with some people and see who's available to come and maybe, get some experience while you can. Hey, do it against the Mets, because they're suffering. They're under pressure right now. They're sweating bullets. We don't have to sweat bullets. Just go out there, have some fun. I guarantee you win. It's going to come down to the Miami Marlins in Miami. They need to sweep the series. They will win 2 out of 3, and they will lose the final game of the season. And the next biggest collapse will have arrived. That's how it's going to go, because that's what the Mets do. And you can sit there and go, I don't believe in the history. That stuff is all stupid. It's what happens almost every year. I mean, you go back to 2022 when the Mets had the division locked up the entire season. And then the Braves somehow stole it in the last few games of the season. And the Mets think about this. The Mets barely even clinched a playoff spot. They walked into the playoffs. It was like it wasn't even exciting. When the Mets clinched the playoffs, they were waiting to celebrate in 2022 for a division that never came. In 2023, they didn't celebrate. Why? Because they missed the playoffs. In 2024, it took till game 161 to celebrate. And in that same day, they still lost the game because they had to play a doubleheader against the Braves. The Mets never make it easy. Tell me the last time that they got all cushiony and put their feet up. It might be 2006. But I don't remember the exact date that they clinched. So they could have clinched 161, and I could be just an idiot. I don't remember. I do remember David Wright and Jose Reyes with cigars in their mouths celebrating. That's what I do remember. I remember that. That was fun. There's not going to be any cigars. There's not going to be popping champagne. It is a stressful season for the New York Mets, but based off of the fact that the young president of baseball operations screwed the pooch in the offseason and continued this ridiculously stupid philosophy of, I'm just going to go dumpster diving and we'll find some gems. I read the back of the label. This should work out with what we do. And it's not working. It's not working. And David Peterson, I know we thought he took a step forward last year, but clearly he's not the guy that we thought he was going to be. Because what he's done in recent games, it's not good. It's not effective. It's not worth it. And you now have to piggyback him. So now you have the rotation is like this. If you're keeping score at home, it is Nolan McLean is your ace. Brandon Sproat is your number 2. You're number 3 because it worked out semi-well, even though they still gave up 3 runs, but still, it was a quality start if you combine them together because it was 8 innings between Clay Holmes and Sean Manaea. Those are one tag team. I call them the Clay Pigeons. And then maybe David Peterson and Kodai Senga can be a tag team. This is what it is. It's like turning into WWE. Like, who's going to be the next tag team that's going to go and take the mound together? Senga and Peterson make sense because Senga, I don't trust to go deep in the game. I don't trust him to go 6. Maybe he can go 4, and maybe Peterson come in and give the last 4. There you go. Get it to Edwin Diaz. And then we're still missing a 5th. Who's the 5th? It is by far the biggest headache I've ever had being a Met fan. You can't make it up. You cannot make this crap up about how, and this is just David Peterson. This is just the pitching staff. I mean, you think about the rest of the game. Pete Alonso hits another shot that, he's hit 3 home runs in 3 games. I think he's going to hit 40 home runs this year. He's got 10 games to do it, but he's hot right now. So let's see how far he can go. But he's been hitting the ball great. Juan Soto's been hitting the ball great. He had another home run. He's got 41 on his season. That ties his career high. By the way, a lot of people said that Juan Soto wasn't going to hit 40-plus home runs this year because the only reason why he got 41 home runs was because of Aaron Judge. Well, stick it up your you-know-what. He's got 41. He's going to break his all-time career high. Even if he just gets one more home run, that's fine. 42, career high. But the point is, Juan Soto has been on fire for a while now. He just missed a home run down the line. Everyone was crossing their fingers, and he goes oppo. It goes down the line. It looks like it's going to hit the foul pole, and it may have. It may have. You might have had to slow it down in a different angle, and maybe it did clip something. But from where we saw it, from all the views that we saw, it didn't. And how disappointed, because that would have tied the game up. Instead, the inning ends, and we get to a point in the game where Ryan Stanek gives up an insurance run, and it just means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. So yeah, we're at this point in the we are at this point in the season where there's 10 games left, and we're stressing because you get crappy performances still. It's the same old with the Mets. And I don't want to blame Carlos Mendoza for this because it's not his fault that he can't go to anybody that's reliable. Think about this. Think about how difficult a situation, and I kept on hearing it all day, and it's been all week about, it's really Carlos Mendoza's fault. It's not Carlos Mendoza's fault. Every button Carlos Mendoza has tried to hit upon all season long, it doesn't work. It backfires. He goes to Ryan Helsley when he first gets called upon, gets traded for, and he fails at every single spot. He tries to call Tyler Rogers in. He fails at every spot. You go to Gregory Soto, he fails. You go to Ryan Stanek, he fails. There's nothing that's been working. And that's how it's been all season long. So if you're sitting there pointing fingers at Carlos Mendoza and be like, well, he just doesn't know how to read the situation, it's because every time he reads it, and he reads it correctly, the people he has to go to fail. Sometimes you just have to look at the players that are on this team and go, they are failures. End of story. It's not Carlos Mendoza's fault for trying to go to the guy that he was told, hey, we brought in Ryan Helsley. This is your setup man. Go to him in a big spot. Okay, it's a big spot. I'm going to Ryan Helsley. Oh, wait, he sucks. That's bad, and now it makes me look bad. There's been some other things that are questionable at times, but anything to do with pitching, I chalk that up to David Stearns has screwed it up so much that Carlos Mendoza is now overthinking 1,000 different things because there's no right answer. There's no right answer. The right answer is the only solution that they came up with, which is in recent days, is we are piggybacking our starting pitching. That has been the solution. Think about that. And I told Evan that I'm going to find the podcast that I ripped into that from the beginning. I said the Mets are a bunch of openers, and they need to do that. They need to sandwich two pitchers together and call it a day. And everyone laughed, and everyone said, you're ridiculous. They can't do that. That's not sustainable. But you know what, though? That's the only way they're going to get by this season and the playoffs. You have Sproat and you have McLean, but they're young too. I mean, there's a possibility that they're going to be in and over their head at some point in time. It is a possibility. No matter how great they look, there is that possibility. And I'm fine with capping them at 6, except for Nolan McLean. Because if you're going to screw with the fan base and screw with this season by missing the playoffs because Nolan McLean, you don't want him to get 12 and a third innings, because if he gets 12 and a third innings, he gets 50 innings overall this season, and it negates his rookie of the year status for next year. Go screw. I want to get to the playoffs. That needs to be your goal. It needs to be everybody's goal. You cannot mess around with Nolan McLean because you're worried about him not having his rookie status next year. That's your own fault. And that's why I said you should have brought him up sooner. You could have brought him up sooner. Griffin Canning was down in early June. You could have brought Nolan McLean in then, July, or whatever. There was ample opportunity, but no, you had to wait. Well, now you need him. You're desperate for wins. You're desperate for Nolan McLean. But how about that rookie status? What do you want to do? I mean, David Stearns, I mean, he's basically digging a grave for himself right now. I don't think he can get any deeper, but he's trying. He really is trying. Unbelievable. All right. So there's 10 games left. Like I said, the Giants beat the Diamondbacks in a game that was crazy because Brandon Pfaadt pitched 9 innings of one-hit baseball. But unfortunately for him, the Diamondbacks put up 0 runs. So it was 0-0, and they had to go to extra innings. And eventually, the Giants just completely opened up the scoring and ended up winning 5-1. I think it was the 11th they went to. I think they went to 11 innings. So the Giants won, which helped, because if the Diamondbacks would have won, this would be, I believe, a half game difference between the Mets and the Diamondbacks. And we don't want that, because in a half game, you know, there's a makeup game somewhere for the Diamondbacks. All they got to do is win that. Then we're tied. And then all of a sudden, Mets are basically out of a wild card spot because the Diamondbacks have the tiebreaker. So it's thank goodness for the Giants winning that game. The Reds won as well. So they get back to, you know, a 2.5 game difference, I believe. In the American League, it's just ridiculous. Now, the Yankees won, so that's good. But Toronto is basically clinched the division. They haven't, but they clinched the playoff spot. They basically clinched the division. And it's going flip-floppy now. Everyone said, oh, the Yankees are going to play the Red Sox the first round. It's like, no. It could be the Astros. It could be the Mariners. The Astros and the Mariners are both tied with the same record. I'm not really sure who owns the tiebreaker, but they're sitting there both with the same record. One's got the division. One's got a wild card, but who knows how they're going to make that work out. And then you got the Red Sox that are fighting for, you know, the wild card, and the Yankees are fighting for a wild card. You don't know who's going to face who, which is great. You got the Rangers who are trying to fight for a final spot, Guardians trying to fight for a final spot. There's a lot of excitement in this last 10 days because there's a lot of teams that are actually fighting for positioning. So unfortunately, MLB did get that right. The fact that they did, you know, make it fun for the next 10 games. It's going to be chaotic. But the problem is, if you're a Yankee Met fan, you don't want chaos. You want clarity. You want clinch. The Yankees will clinch. I think they have their magic number. I had it written down before. I think their magic number is now 7 after that win. I think it was 8 coming into today. I think it's 7 now. The Mets, it was with 11 games left to go, it was still 11. And now that they lost, I'm sure it's 10 games that they have to 10 games that they have to win to clinch. They have to win every game. This is the crazy thing with the Mets. They have to win every game. They're not going to win every game. They're probably not going to win half the games. That is going to be a tough pill to swallow. I think we're good. I think I'm done venting on the Mets for now. I think I'm done. Juan Soto, I will say this much, just to touch on Juan Soto, because I don't feel like I gave him enough justice. He is having an unbelievable season. He really is. And he's going to be, the home runs are most for him. You're talking about, the RBI totals getting up there too. The run totals getting up there. There's a lot of stats that are still sneaking up that he could still surpass for all-time career highs for a season for him. Is that most likely? The walks probably not. We're getting with 10 games. I mean, he sometimes walks 3 times in the game, so you just never know. But the home runs is clearly the one thing that he's gonna break this. I mean, he's got 41 already. He just needs to one more to now set a new record for himself. He's already set the record for stolen bases with himself by I think 20 or something like that. So, I mean, that's 2 stats already that he completely just outdid himself in. And whatever else is there for people again who said that Juan Soto is having a disappointing season. If this is the case, good. I hope this is his worst season ever, because that means a lot more good things to come. Now, as far as Pete Alonso goes, another home run, like I said, 36 on the season. It's been a fantastic season for Pete Alonso, but the one person that this team really relies upon is Francisco Lindor. It is crazy. And this is the one thing I want to get to real quickly before I do hit one other thing with the Yankees. The MVP races that are coming up, it's Cal Raleigh versus Aaron Judge. It's Shohei Ohtani versus, I guess, the slate. Maybe you want to throw Juan Soto in there, which I'd like to. Pete Crow Armstrong was there for a while, but I think he fell off now. It's going to be Shohei Ohtani. It's probably be Aaron Judge. But this is really what you have to think about. And are we voting on who is the best player in the league? Or are we voting on who is the most important player to their team? Like Cal Raleigh, I think, is a really important player to the Mariners. Like 56 home runs, switch hitter, the catcher, it's all amazing. Without him, without his offensive production, the Mariners really have never been an offensive productive team. It's really based upon their pitching. The Yankees, Aaron Judge is a key player to this team. I mean, without Aaron Judge, a lot of times they're not winning games. It's really Aaron Judge who's the leader of the Yankees. So it is neck and neck in that aspect. I think that Aaron Judge is the best hitter in baseball, but is he the most important player to his team? Is he most valuable to his team? I think Aaron Judge is a case that he definitely is the most valuable to his team. Same with Cal Raleigh. As far as, though, the National League, like Shohei Ohtani, I'm sorry, they're now shoving down the 50-50 this year. Last year was 50-50, 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. Now it's 50 home runs, 50 strikeouts. He struck out 50 people. Yeah, well, guess what? Who gives a crap? When you have the payroll that the Dodgers have, when you have the cheat codes that the Dodgers have, when you have all of these all-stars at every position, your pitching staff is filled with all-stars and Cy Youngs. Your bullpen is the weakest link, and that's your own fault, whatever. I mean, you could have built a juggernaut there too, and you tried, I guess, but they fell off this year. But that's bullpen just being so inconsistent every year. But don't tell me that Shohei Ohtani is the most important player in baseball, when if he's not there, they're still winning, because whether it's Mookie Betts, whether it's Freddie Freeman, whether it's Will Smith, whether it's any of the other pitchers, Yamamoto, Glass now. I mean, think about this. At the trade deadline, the Dodgers were trading away starting pitching. Dustin May was somebody who was in that rotation for a majority of the season once he came back from being injured. He got traded away. You're talking about a team that's in the playoffs, trading players away because they had other guys come. Blake Snell was coming back from the IL. Like, they had all this surplus of talent just built up, ready to go. And we're going to sit there and say, oh, well, but hold on. If it wasn't for Shohei Ohtani, they wouldn't be this good. No, it's just it is just a flex now. Oh, he could do both. Shohei Ohtani's amazing. You know what? I think that Juan Soto can juggle as well when he's swinging a bat. So maybe we can give him the MVP because he could juggle and swing a bat at the same time. I mean, what are we doing? Get the most valuable player to his team. Without that player, would they be in the playoffs? That should be realistically what this award is. It shouldn't be about the who's got the best numbers in baseball. Like there was Mike Trout won how many times for MVP and how many times did he make it to the playoffs? Like, what are you doing? Oh wow, if without Mike Trout, the Angels wouldn't have finished last? I mean, what are we doing? So it's just at this point in time, you've got to they really have to fix the MVP rulings and votings because after a while it is getting sick. Like I don't need to see Shohei win anymore because he does two things. That's what we're excited about. I mean, he's going to win it every year. It's a joke. It's not even competitive. It's Shohei's award because he's this miraculous, but he's really not. Don't let him fool you. He's really not. At least I don't think he is. As I'm saying, I'm going, wow, I'm really trying to take down Shohei Ohtani right now. I'm trying. I don't know if it's working, but I'm trying. That being said, I do want to hit one more thing about the Yankees that I meant to get to. And this is God's honest truth. And you tell me if I'm wrong. Trent Grisham is more valuable to this Yankee team than Cody Bellinger. And this is what we're talking about with MVPs of the team and stuff like that. Like, yeah, obviously Aaron Judge is the key. Everyone works around Aaron Judge. But Trent Grisham has been so important to this Yankee team. And I'm not saying that Cody Bellinger is worthless. That's not true at all. I think he's got, 30-something home runs, 32 now, 31, 32 home runs. He's got 100 RBIs, whatever the case is. I mean, he's had a successful season. No one's going to doubt that. The position flexibility that he gives the Yankees, he can play anywhere in the outfield. He can play first base. He's amazing. Not taking that away at all. But Trent Grisham gave them something that they didn't think they had this year because they lost Juan Soto. He gave them another 30-plus home run hitter, a guy that they were hoping that maybe Jason Dominguez would turn into, maybe that Anthony Volpe would turn into, maybe Paul Goldschmidt would have found that fountain of youth. Trent Grisham gave him that. And Trent Grisham has 100 less at-bats than Cody Bellinger. So you want to talk about, hey, well, Grisham didn't, he only has got 70 RBIs or something like that, and Bellinger's got 100. Well, he's got 100 more at-bats. So he's able to more opportunity to drive in runs. He's been playing not every day, but he's 141 games he played. I think the total at bats for Bellinger was like 549. Grisham played 133 games. I think his total was like 459, something like that for at bats. So the point is, Grisham hasn't been playing every day, but when he has played, he's been effective. And when I look at this team next year, the first guy that I want to bring back is Trent Grisham. Because he's not going to be as expensive as Cody Bellinger because he's never, quote unquote, done it before. So his price is not going to just skyrocket out of nowhere. You bring Trent Grisham back, he'll play the same positions. He'll play it all. You piggyback him with Aaron Judge in right field, Grisham in center field, and you can still bring Cody Bellinger back to be your first baseman. Because guess what Paul Goldschmidt's done? Ben Rice is not a first baseman. He is a catcher at best, if that's what you're going to do, or a DH. And you have him split time with Austin Wells or whatever back there. But Cody Bellinger could be your first baseman. Trent Grisham could be your center fielder. Or you make, again, there's that flexibility that Grisham Bellinger could play left field, center field, whatever you want to do. If Dominguez is not ready yet, because that's been the thing. Dominguez is not ready yet. And you have a clear person that can play that position and give you the offense that you've been looking for, along with playing a good left field. Think about this. When is besides Hideki Matsui, it's been a long time. When was the last left fielder that you were like, oh, I like him. He's good. He does everything. He hits and he plays the field. Andrew Benintendi, I remember people were excited about, but he wasn't even that good. But everyone was like, oh, Andrew Benintendi, you gotta bring him back. He's fantastic. Because you were dealing with Aaron Hicks. You were dealing with Melky Cabreras, the Andujars, you name it. Guys that were just, subpar at best, or guys that just failed in those positions. And Miguel Andujar, somebody that I actually liked, and I thought that he was going to always be a hitter in the big leagues. But the Yankees kind of screwed with him because as soon as he got hurt, they couldn't wait to put somebody else at third base. I mean, the patience with the Yankees, if they don't like you, they don't want to play you. And there's been plenty of guys like that in the Yankees farm system where they just don't want to play them. They want to suffocate them. They give them an opportunity and it's gone. But then they'll continue to run guys out like Volpe. And it's not supposed to be a hit piece on Volpe, but I'm just making a point. Volpe's been out there for 3 years now. Andujar, they never gave him that much opportunity. They never did. He had 40 or 50 something doubles in his rookie year, and then the next year they couldn't wait for him to get hurt and for him to go play left field out of nowhere and just kind of throw him around and be like, "Oh, this guy sucks. We'll just get rid of him." I mean, it's unbelievable the way they value certain players on the Yankee staff. All right, listen. Thank you for listening to another episode of WFAN Daily. Again, Trent Grisham is the guy that the Yankees got to focus in on for next year, but it's not even about the next year. He's going to be a key piece to this playoff run. And I'm telling you right now, if you watched back in 2022 when the Mets got smoked by the Padres, the name that stuck out the most for Mets fans was Trent Grisham. Defensive plays were outrageous, and his offense was off the charts. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna love him in the playoff, Yankee fans. You're gonna love him in playoff time. He's gonna step out big time with Shinko Stanton. And again, I still think the Yankees have the easiest path to the playoffs to get into the World Series, just because I don't think that with the way that the Tigers play, the Tigers aren't even the best team anymore. It's the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are numero uno. But that being said, I think that the Yankees are the best team, or going to be the best team, or the representative out of the AL in the World Series. Just they have. I'm not saying they have the easiest path, but they have what it takes to beat all of these teams in a short series. They really, truly do. Thank you for listening to another episode of WFAN Daily. Again, I am Pete Hoffman. You could always follow me at HoffWFAN on all social media platforms. You can check me out on Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with BT and Sal. On Saturday mornings, I host 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. If you like the Mets, you'll see or hear me on the Rico Bronya podcast with Evan Roberts. And, of course, I do the WFAN Daily. And, by the way, on a bonus, if you guys watch the Giants, you may see me in the background of an interview here or there. I heard I was on MSG this week as I was in the background of a Cam Scattaboo interview. I mean, it happens. I'm just everywhere. You can't stop me. And you can't miss me because I'm so freaking big. That being said, thank you for following. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing to YouTube as well. You can subscribe to the YouTube link, Odyssey app, download that, wherever you get your podcast, just go do that. Okay. But thank you. Tomorrow there will be another episode of WFN Daily, and there will be another Rico Bronya with Evan Roberts as we recap this 3-game series of the San Diego Padres and the New York Mets. Hopefully the Mets will have won the series. If not, unfortunately, my predictions are kind of on the money. And I thought that the Mets were going to lose this series. I hope they don't. But they probably will. All right, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Again, follow me at Hoff WFAN, and have a good evening. Get some